you know, because it's almost like a mini final and you have to play to a winner, and you know, so it changes some of your decisions in the game. And I think, you know, with our guys, the change of the shape and the weather delay, and there was just a lot thrown at us tonight, and I thought the guys coped with it really well. Even, you know, the patches in the game where we were up against it and they were on top of us, and, you know, Acosta got loose and got free, and, you know, we didn't capitulate. You know, we dug in and held firm, and, you know, we're maybe unlucky a couple times, as they may, you know, Ben may feel the same way. But they stuck together and they fought, and, you know, penalties are always a toss-up, so you never know. So you don't feel great about winning in penalties, but you're sure happy to move on. So
it's a game where you concede an early goal, you fight back. What does this win mean for the team right now?
I think it's just what everybody needed. I think, you know, from the players to, you know, all the backroom staff, you know, everybody can just sort of take a deep breath tonight and think, okay, good night, Ben. Thank you. Good stuff. You know, everybody just needed it, and everybody can just, you know, the weight of the world's off us a little bit, and maybe that'll free us up to move on to Saturday and propel us on to, you know, hopefully another win.
Ben had mentioned they were a little bit surprised to see as many of your, for lack of a better term, first team guys in your 11 as you had. What went into your decision through the week of who you're going to field for your starting 11, and how to balance those commitments?
I think, you know, the league's important, the cup's important, and I also think getting us right was important in a bigger sense. Yeah. And so, you know, the priority was getting us right, and you know, that's what we tried to do. And I spoke with each of the guys individually, and they all wanted to play in this game. They all felt it was important, and so, you know, and there are guys that I left behind who will feature on Saturday, and I left them behind on purpose because there's, you know, they've been training and they know that, you know, that they'll be called upon on Saturday. So just trying to balance all that. It's always hard, especially with the travel and everything else. But, you know, like I said at the beginning, it was just getting us right.
What was the thought?
Ladies first. Come on, dude.
As the game wore on, though, as you're getting 120 and then you're getting into extra time, does it add to the concern that you have that, you know, a guy like Justin Meram's in, or your quote unquote first team guys are still in, knowing your turnaround's quick?
No, I think the group we put together, there's depth to it, you know, and so it just is what it is. You know, you can't pull anybody out, and you just got to go with what you got, and you always run the risk in a cup game that it could go to extra time. And, you know, but for somebody like Justin, who I think deserves an awful lot of credit, and I owe him a huge apology for making the sub late and not giving him a chance to score a penalty. You know, I've apologized to him for that. But, you know, for a guy who hasn't played 90 minutes in a long time to fight as hard as he did to play 120 minutes, you know, or as he said, 119:37, he deserves a lot of credit. So, you know,
he told you that?
No, we were joking about it afterwards. You know, I was like, you just played 120. He was like 119. I was like 119:37. So, you know, I think it's just, you have to win this one, and then you deal with Saturday, you know, now. And so, you know, you put as much thought into it as you can, but you just got to go with what you got.
And is it a bit of a confidence boost seeing that these guys fought that long with you taking charge, and you have this whole team fighting all the way through those PKs? Yeah, and I think it's their character to fight. You know, I think their undoing has been the same thing that was our first goal, which was we had two guys down the left-hand side that I think it was Assad made his way through, and then Maddox gets 1v1 and we let him through, and you know, those are the moments you have to stop, you know, because nothing is more demoralizing than that. You know, when you're in a good spot and you don't make a play, you know, that's what we've been on to him about this whole, you know, this past few days, and I thought after that we were better about it, and so hopefully, you know, just in that department we've turned a corner, and that'll alleviate so many other problems that come with it. So,
what have you personally tried to focus on this week as you kind of assume this interim role? Is there any kind of guiding principle or two that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at, like, we had to stop the bleeding in terms of giving up goals, and so, you know, that was the primary thing. Like, how do we give ourselves a chance to win the game? And the easiest, you know, the first thing is you have to stop giving up goals. So we went with the three center backs. You know, tried to. You know, I have three international center backs, so I played all three of them, and then just built the team from there. you know, trying and then just trying to make them aware of how close they are to being successful, you know, and what it takes to get across the line. And hopefully, you know, we'll keep harping on that and, you know, not let it go to our heads.
First time you had two of those guys together, in Spector and Sané. I know Spector was kind of looking maybe a groin or a leg issue or a hamstring issue toward the end of the game.
Yeah, it was just a cramp.
But okay, it's just a cramp.
Yeah,
He should be fine.
Yeah, he should be fine. He's old. Old people cramp easily.
How big a deal is that to have both of them available?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember one time this year we've had what we think is our ideal 11 healthy and on the field together, and that's just the nature of this league, and it's the nature of the game, and so I think we're getting close to there. You know, and there were guys I wanted, you know, like Scott Sutter, who's been out for a long time. I wanted to try and get him in the game and get some match fitness in, but the game just didn't present itself. And to Scott's credit, he came to me and said, "This is not the time to put me in. You know, we're fighting for something here. You know, don't try and make room for me when somebody else may need it." So, and I think that's a sentiment that any one of them would have shared, and that just shows the quality of their character.
You have to ask the overall vibe of getting the first game done as coach in there. They didn't make it easy, but is there some relief knowing, okay, the first ceremony, whatever it is out of the way? You can move it forward from here.
Yeah, it's you know, I would lie if I say there weren't some nerves coming into it on my part, and you know, hoping you've covered everything, but the players deserve a lot of credit. The people around me deserve a whole lot of credit for making sure that we were ready to go. And you know, now we just move on to Saturday. But they were, you know, I can't give enough credit to the players and the staff around me that you know, I mean, I'm the one standing before you now, but you know, from the medical staff to the administration to everybody, they've all been hugely supportive and helpful. So
last thing, Bennett mentioned maybe this is time for the opening up to using the fourth sub. Are there any, you know, obviously kind of the lineup, you talk about wanting to get your team right, but the lineup you feel that also suggests that this is an important tournament for you guys. Are there any things you'd like to see tweaks about this tournament, or anything where you think it could make it kind of even?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing with if you know, and it's sort of, I think I've heard the same sentiment shared about the FA Cup. If you want it to be a serious competition and you want the top clubs to really take it seriously, then dedicate a weekend to it where we're not crunching games on either side of it. You know, let's if we're going to make it a priority, then let's make it a priority. And this game would be played on a Saturday, and we'd have a week to prepare, and so would they. You know, because I think it is an important competition. I think it's hugely important, not only for its history, but also it gets you into the Champions League. So, you know, I think that would be my one suggestion, especially with the travel involved of getting places, you know, and if you want people to field their best teams, then give them a reason to. So.
Earl got his first minutes against the MLS team this season. What would you see out of him? I
thought Earl was good. You know, I think he was assured. I think, you know, he was confident. You know, in distribution he was good. You know, we tried to, you know, it got away from us a little bit there toward the end of the 90 minutes where he made a few decisions, you know, where he sees one thing, and I don't disagree with what he saw, but at the same time he has to remember the players have been running around for 90 minutes and they may not want the ball in those situations. And you know, but I think he made every save he needed to. The save on the header was unbelievable, reflex save, and the way he marshaled that back, you know, he played off his line and swept things, and just the communication, constant reminding, you know, it's the same we've seen in training. So no, I'm not surprised, and I'm just so happy for him that you know, he got the win and obviously the saves and the penalty. So shootout.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.